next generation, and now they calling us OGs, quote unquote, because you know somebody that's 34 or whatever. So we took a lot of stuff from y'all's generation as well. You just might not have seen it, but we was observing a lot. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of things in our day-to-day practices come from, hey, don't do this, move like this, be smart, look at this, pay attention. It's just so the knowledge is so accessible now. You got to take time to sit down and be like, all right, what are my thoughts? Right? Because I heard what you think, but what do I feel? You know what I'm saying? So I say that to say, with what y'all are doing and the direction y'all are going, I think y'all are laying a good, solid blueprint for the next generation behind. It show like, yo, at 40, at 43, at 45, dog. Somebody asked me today, I'm on one of my mentor calls, yeah, I'm really trying to hit my prime. I'm like, yo, how old are you? He's like, I'm like 23. I'm like, bro, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, prime could be 50. You know, there's no, don't put an age on that. Like, prime could be, it's where are you, whenever you're the best mentally, physically, spiritually, emotion in your life, you're in your prime. Once you crack the door to that, it's up, and that shit could last 30 years. You could be in your prime for 30
White
years.
hot space could be
30 exactly. Years. It's just knowing what works for me, what doesn't work for me. How should I speak? How should I not speak? And figuring that part out is the tough part. Yeah. I would say. But man, that's a whole segment. Man, I'm excited. But just continuously putting the message out every day. If it get 10 likes, it get 10 likes. If it get 1,000 likes, it get 10. But it's just hitting it. It's people. Right. What I'm learning is we are way too worried about who's looking. How's this gonna look if it don't? Like, man, fuck that. Let it flow. Cause that one could be the one that be the one. Mm-hmm. It's 1,000 shots before this one, but the one that hit was this one. Before I had like a viral freestyle, quote unquote, bro, I had 200 of them shits already. And nobody was looking at it. It was like 300 views, 400 views, and then the one hit. And then let me get my 20,000 followers off that. Damn, let me try this again. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, so I've been watching Elevate, yeah. It's just putting yourself out there and not being afraid of what are people gonna say.
Most of the time they're not gonna say anything. And you know what? They don't really care. Because they're in their life.
That's true too.
They're focused on, but it will hit if you stay. He's a perfect example.
Bro, you could do anything.
Bro, I watched, bro, he was in prison for 20 years.
Bro, one of my mentors, his name is Wes Watson. He did 10 years.
I know
he just came. Bro, this dude is making fucking $2 million a month on mentorships. And it works. I rocked with him for 3 months.
That makes a lot of sense.
He did a lot for me.
Bro, that makes a lot of sense.
Like he was putting me on game. Like, yo, Jiaani, you gotta raise your vibration, and this is the way you do it.
What's up, good people? It's your boy, Bro Troy. We are back at it on the Bro Code Show, man. Hold on, fellas. Another one. Real quick, man, we got a special guest. Well, now we're actually a hit spotter. We're going to talk a little bit more about what that looks like. But first and foremost, man, let the people know who you are. 90 seconds or less. Put some respect on your name.
For sure, man. I am Jiaani. Innovator, entrepreneur, family man, husband, father, businessman. Just stretching the bubble as far as it's gonna go, man. That's who I am, man.
Yeah.
Artist.
Yeah, he's being modest.
Yeah,
we gonna.
I mean, I felt like if I named like everything,
90 seconds.
Yeah, I know. It's all good.
The Persian poet, baby. We can
man.
Start right there.
Come on. Yeah.
We're gonna tiptoe into this conversation, man. We have this thing called rapid fire questions now. First thing comes to mind. You ready?
Sure.
All right. Favorite childhood TV show?
Family Matters.
Last song downloaded on your Spotify?
Nipsey Double Up.
Nickname your parents used to call you?
Jiaani and Gigi.
Place you most want to travel?
Italy.
What is your superpower?
I have the power to create anything I see in my mind.
What is your go-to meal to prepare?
Oh, go-to meal. Grilled chicken, broccoli. Yeah, it's basic.
Yeah, he's a health enthusiast.
Yeah. I'm working on it.
Favorite rainy day activity?
Man, thinking.
Now, who you rocking with? Dr. Dre, Timbaland, DJ Premier, Pharrell? Which one?
Pharrell.
We gotta talk about that.
Pharrell.
Okay. You heard who was in there. I'm curious, fellas. Dr. Dre, Timberland, DJ Premier, Pharrell. Who you rocking with?
I'm DJ Premier.
DJ Premier. Is it an era thing? Is it a time, or is
It's,
it what
it's
you
an
were
era,
most
it's a
introduced
time,
to?
it's a soul, you know.
Musically it's Dr. Dre.
Yeah.
Overall, it'll also be Pharrell because of his range.
Yeah.
His range. I
Yeah.
love what he's doing right now.
That's my thing with Pharrell, his
Yeah.
range.
And for me, it's time. Like, I remember the Chronic album came out when I was about 12, 13. I shouldn't have been listening to it, but I got my hands on it. And, you know, that was one of the albums I first got my hands on. And then Doggy Style came right behind it. Then I moved to the A, and I got hold of Southern Playalistic Cadillac Music. And that whole
My brother had that
ATL era when before, you know, Dre decided to just go off to the other side of the world, man, and live off. So I think it's timeless, right? So when you talk about, and then even in the midst of that, I was in VA for a little while, working with the merchant seamen. So Timberland, like him and Missy,
Yeah, my
They
all
had it on
Jersey
Smash.
influences, man. You know,
DJ Premier.
you know,
Yeah.
DJ Premier,
That's what-
Biggie, Big L. You know, just the beats, the breaks. It was timeless, man. It still is.
It
you
still
know?
is.
Still is.
It is.
Premier has a refreshing sound still.
I love it. All right. That leads us to this next one. Missy Elliott, Lauryn Hill, Queen Latifah, or Remy Ma. Which one you got?
Lauryn Hill for me.
Yeah, timeless,
Lauryn
right?
Hill for me.
You know, and for, what do you guys think, right? So Missy, Lauryn, Queen, or Remy Ma?
That's Lauryn Hill easy.
Lauryn Hill easy for you?
Yeah.
Why you say Remy Ma like that? though?
Yeah,
Why
like,
you?
why did they even put? When I read it, I was like, "Dang, how did he even put her in there?"
No,
Right?
she
She talented though. With those, yeah, I feel
with
you.
Queen
Missy,
Latifah- Queen Latifah
She might be a
would've
little early for that.
Yeah.
Like she might be a little later on for that.
right? Yeah,
Yeah.
There would have been some different names I would have put in there with her.
I dig that.
Yeah. What about you, Kirk?
Lauryn Hill, and it's musically, but it's also who she is.
Yeah.
And the world's just finally catching up to, like, right now, like literally,
crazy?
if she came out now,
That's crazy.
everything that she talked about and did would be okay.
So is
back
that
then,
timeless?
she is timeless.
is
It
that
wasn't. They
timeless?
weren't ready
She's
for her.
ahead of her
It was
time.
way ahead of her time.
So
He
was
was ahead
Erica.
of his time.
It's just
So was
same thing,
Erykah
same
Badu.
thing, Same thing.
Yeah.
She was very ahead of her time.
And really, Lauren made them uncomfortable because she was moving with spirit.
Yeah.
And they weren't used to that.
I don't know. That's a whole conversation.
It is.
all by
Yeah. It
itself. Yeah. And dude, I was listening to a video, looking at a video the other day. It was talking about the whole vibe of Badu and how that energy has overcome many a men, you know, from afar. Because we don't know, we weren't there. But when you look at them after they got, especially the same kind, well, maybe not the same, but similar to them Kardashians. But we gonna move
Yeah, after
on.
they got Badu,
right.
they weren't the same.
Yeah,
man.
they weren't the same anymore.
Yeah.
But to each his own. So that's all I got, bro.
It's good.
Let's get into childhood, man.
Yeah.
You know, when we look at the dynamics of the home, please correct me if I'm wrong, a Persian home.
Yes.
Right? Were you
Yeah.
with foster care?
Later on, I was in.
Well, talk to us about that.
Yeah.
Early childhood, who were some of the influences and some of the people that
For
were
sure,
there for
for
you?
sure. So my grandmother was the biggest. My grandmother came over here during the revolution of Iran in the 70s when the
Okay.
Shah of Iran, everything that happened, and she left her husband over there, which was my grandfather. And then came over here, didn't speak the language, brought my aunt, my father, and my uncle all over here. My father came first, and my uncle. Anyways, long story short, she came just to provide a way, and you know, seeing her inside of the home. We lived in a home with my my father, my grandmother, my aunt, my uncle, my brother, me, and at times my cousin. So it was a home.
home.
It was a very and I'm gonna get to something interesting in a second about that. So. At an early childhood, my parents, they got divorced. I don't even know what that looks like. So, but I just knew that in my subconscious, I just remember my mother like dating a lot of different guys and like a lot of like abuse and things like that. And you know, as I got older, I started realizing she definitely was on some things. And, you know, my father was opening up a convenience store at the time I was a child. So my grandmother was there for us more, and my aunt was working in dental school. She had got a scholarship to become a dentist. And my aunt played a big role as well, but my father was gone a lot because he was working. And so I was outside a lot. You know, this is early 90s. I was born in 89. So this is like 90, 93, 94, 95, 96. That era, right? And we had just got MTV. And when we first got cable, I probably was like 7 years old. And I fell in love with hip hop. You know, I had a lot of pain built inside of me from certain things as a child that I didn't recognize at that time. But I saw hip hop as these people were going through the same thing. Mind you, I already identified with black culture in a different way than anybody I was around, because being a Persian, I wasn't white enough and I wasn't black enough. But when I go to my black friend's house, they got grandma, auntie, they got the same setup. They all sit down and eat together. That's what we do, you know. And then watching how like I would go to my friend's house where their mother, with the black mother in particular, and I would see how she was so like, and I didn't have that. Only way I had that was Big Mama was my grandma. So I immediately just felt like these people are like me. Like I don't know what it is, you know what I'm saying? But my family was very close within that. And as I grew older, you know, we moved to Wilmington. My father, you know, he felt like, well, it's time for me to step away with my boys. A lot of things happened when I was in Wilmington. I was in the streets at like 9 years old all day. My father would he started like driving trucks, so he wasn't at home a lot. He worked very hard, but I would be in the streets a lot. And at 9 and 10 years old, I saw a lot of things that I probably shouldn't have been seeing at that age, from, you know, weed, hustling, alcohol. I'm hanging with 13, 14-year-olds that are having sex at the time I'm 9 years old. My father think I'm going to just play the game across the street with my home. Mind you, this is late 90s, early 2000s now. So the cell phone thing still isn't there. Right. If I'm gone, I'll be back and when you see me, right? So I started getting into a lot of trouble my 8th grade year. He said, you know what? We got into it the first day of my 8th grade year. And he said, I'm going to send you to live with your mom. And I'm like, nah, I don't want to go there. I don't really know her like that. And I go there and immediately, like, everything just kind of, you know what I'm saying, goes downhill. She never raised any kids, and she was married to a husband that had 4 kids of his own, but never raised his kids. And it was just like a very low energy environment. And I don't want to speak too bad on them. That's the past. But I ended up in the streets. I was homeless at 15. They kicked me out. I had at 17, I had a conspiracy. At 16, I had a conspiracy to commit armed robbery charge. And, you know, it hurt my heart when I go and I see that the name on the paper was my mom. That was the witness in the thing. That was tough. That was like one of my father sending me off broke me. My mother doing that broke me.
You feel like somebody turned on you?
I started to feel abandonment. I started to feel alone. I felt like I wasn't good enough. I'm not who am I? I'm nothing, right? And then, so I was in the streets at the time. And then they shipped me off to a group home around like 15. At this time, my father had just got his wife that came here. He married again and met a new wife from Iran. So I guess he was trying the marriage thing again, but by this time I'm already, it's like forget him type vibes. So I was in a group home for 2 years, off and on, in and out, and that was an interesting experience. I became like the barber in the household. You know what I'm saying? Y'all let me know if I'm talking too much.
Nah.
Okay. Yeah, I became like the barber, and we got a little like a pay every week for doing like chores and things like that. It was like $20 to each kid. And they would go spend that at the barbershop and like a cookout milkshake or something. I'd be like, yo, I can cut your hair. How much is he charging you? And they were like 13. I'd be like, yo, I'll do it for 9. And so I could, you know, so that's where like the hustling kind of really, so I would do that, stack my chips. I bought a train ticket, got out of there, came to Durham. By the time I touched down in Durham, I'm already full in the streets. My mind is in the streets. I meet a guy in Durham that was a big rapper at the time, and I ended up getting into some things, and I had got into a shootout at that time, and they took me to jail, so I had to sit down for a little bit. I met this is where everything shifted. I'm trying to breeze past a lot, but I met this dude. He was a hitman from Harlem. His name was Q. He was already in jail for like 7 years awaiting trial. They kept pushing the trial. Everyone was scared of this guy Q. He was big, swole, you know. I have this thing, especially at that time, where I wanted to, any place I went to where it was like, oh, I knew how to break up the tension. I don't know if God just gave me that gift, the gift of gab, I guess you call it. So I went up to him like, man, you got a lot of books in there. Like, you the only person that can read the books? Like, he was like, what? I was like, I want to read one. And I guess he liked the way I approached him or whatever, and he gave me a book to read.
Yeah.
And The Art of Success was the book, I think, or The Science of Success. When I cut his hair before a trial, and he said, look, he said, when you get out, do something with cutting hair. This is gonna take you where you want to go musically. Use this as a stepping stone. He said this to me. I get out, I go live with my aunt when I'm out, you know what I mean? And I go to this barber school. Now I meet the most amazing. God is so good, because in every space I was in, especially the most uncomfortable places, I meet an angel. Q is my angel in jail. Nobody bothered me, nobody, you know what I mean? Him and Q like this. He would give me game. Yo, Jiaani. At the time they called me Guap. Yo, Guap, look, you gotta do it like this. If somebody asks you that, don't answer like that. Be like this. You gotta think like this. Use your head. And he taught me how to be a man more so than anything. And I shout out to Q. I don't know what happened to him, but so I go to this barber school, and the owner of the school's name is Wanda Short.
Yeah,
She owes
the Sherrills.
Man,
Yeah.
the angel, the
Short
mother
family,
of my life.
She's amazing. Yeah, shout out to the Short family.
Shout out to the
all
Short.
of them.
So we about to
Marcus,
dive into that.
Yeah, all
so
of them, man. Yeah.
I go to the school, and the first couple of days, I don't even want to see her, because for some reason I feel like she could see me. She sees me. She could see me. I got this front up. I'm in the streets. But every time she sees me, and I'm like, I don't even want to make eye contact with her.
That's that women's discernment.
Man.
It's intuition is 2.0 in women. Yeah, I talk about that.
Especially
with
a
my wife,
woman like that. A woman
She's
like that.
spiritually led as well.
She's there.
Indeed.
She told me one day, I would tell her my story. She said, look, you're a diamond in the dirt. We're going to take you out, polish you, and we're going to give you to the world. Miss Short gave me opportunity in her barbershop in Triangle Mall. She let me cut hair. I cut there for 3 years, and then I told her I wanted to go pursue music. So I was going back and forth to LA. I was doing the music thing. And she let me keep my chair, no rent, no nothing in there, for a year and a half.
Oh, wow.
Until I went broke. And I needed to come back. And she let me come back. You understand? Having somebody like that, man, like I went broke.
Yeah.
And I was in the streets. I was telling her I was doing music. I was in the streets. You know what I mean? And I wanted to give off that vibe, like I'm doing the music, but I was doing other things. And she had my back. So she let me come back in. And then I left again, and I told her, this time I want to open up my own shop. And I came to Apex and opened up a shop. And then, man, the story's so long. I don't know. I keep going. We're gonna be talking forever. And now we're here, in my store in downtown Apex, and
let's talk about that, man.
Yeah.
Talk about where we're at. Give them the address.
Yeah. So we in my store right now, downtown Apex, Keepin It Collective, Kick Unlimited. I'm in my man right now. He started barber school with me. His name is Dez. Shout out to Dez, because he's been through this whole process with me. Very loyal guy. And the store, we do sneakers. We got t-shirts, vintage tees. I got my personal studio in the spot. And it's just a creative space, man. You know what I mean?
What's the address?
103 North Salem Street, Suite B.
Love it.
What led you to want to combine all of this? The shirts, the music, the shoes. How did this all come together, though?
Yeah, so it was like, man, with the music, I was spending a lot of money on wardrobe. And I was like, damn, I'm only using these for videos. You know what I'm saying? So this don't make no sense. So I'm like, let me open up my own store where I could do all these things. If I need to shoot videos, I could just shop at my own store. You know what I mean? So it really was just, at first, it wasn't going to be all of this. It was more like, man, just a spot for me. I wanted to make a studio, and then I was like, nah, that's going to be kind of selfish. Let me open it up to the public. And it's crazy, because since I opened, I don't even use none of this stuff for myself. You know what I mean? I'm pretty simple on a day-to-day basis, but now it's more about the people and pulling together, like giving some type of culture to this particular area. Raleigh already has some really dope spots, and I didn't want to go where it was oversaturated. I looked at Cary, Holly Springs, and Apex, and I'm like, yo, these kids that are here, I looked at the population, I'm like, they got to drive to Raleigh.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So let me mind you, it's we just locked in our first year of business, so I mean, it's been amazing, man. Thank you, man. Thank you. It's been amazing to see what you could bring through the door of something that wasn't here before you got here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the biggest lesson, man? Because people don't realize. So I've been watching you for years, and I've been watching you elevate.
Yes, sir.
But I want to know, what's the biggest lesson you've learned in this last 365 owning this business?
Whew. Owning the business?
Yeah.
Man, try to do more yourself if you can. You want to help people out, but everyone is their own king on their own chessboard. You know, I learned that everybody is their own king on their own chessboard, and most people nowadays with social media and things, they want to be seen, and that's understandable.
So wait a minute. So you have a chessboard and you're king on it.
Oh, without
because
a
you
doubt.
own this space, this is your chessboard. So you're saying that
Yeah.
somebody else would come into your space and want to be king on your board?
Oh yeah, it's happened many times. Many times. You give an opportunity to people, and people tend to think that, or you work next to them, and within building it, and they think like, okay, well, this is mine, and you know, it doesn't work like that. You know, I did sheetrock at 19. I did oil changes. I worked at Burger King at 16 when I dropped out of high school. I worked at McDonald's. I was in the streets, crack, weed, all that shit. So it's like, and so I went through the motions at an early age. I'm extensive with it, and not to say that I've done everything. I'm just saying you got to go through the motions. And this is the thing. I didn't know I was gonna open up a store. To be frank, I didn't know. It just, I did the work for a year on myself, and the opportunity met, and I couldn't. You know, I'm learning that you just do the work. Just do the work every day. Go do the work on yourself. Read every day. Work out every day. Try to eat as best as you can. Speak as best you can. Now, I'm not saying I got it figured out all the way, but but the way to control the roller coaster a little bit better, I'm learning, is just you're in charge. So yeah, you can get hit, you can go up and down, but if you could just keep it simple. They used to laugh at me when I was like, I go to bed at like 9:30 and I'm up at like 4, and I'm like, what the hell? Until our parents just like, what is out for you in the streets at that time? And now I'm 34 and I'm looking like, what the hell are you doing out at 11 o'clock at night? And then you wondering why the police is pulling you over left and right. You driving at 2:30 in the morning. Anyone who's doing something progressive isn't out at that time. So I had to learn these. I learned, a lot in failing. I failed a lot, and I failed a lot in front of people, to where I had to go through the adversity of them talking about me time and time again. Of, oh, what is he doing? Who does he think he is? Why is he doing that? Look at this guy. He think they didn't see this girlfriend before my wife, then they see the wife, and then they see, my dynamic is I have 2 children by 2 different women before I got married. So, and then my wife was married before so we got a dynamic that, man, this shit ain't no joke. I got to get up early.
Well, hold on. We're not going to skip over it.
Yeah.
But we do got to pay the bills, man. We right here on the Bro Code Show with my man Jiaani. We right in the spot, man. We done turn it into the basement. We'll be right back. Peace.
I really feel like everybody needs to serve in something, like give back to the community one way or the other. If you don't have money to do it, put your labor hours. People can use you. There's so many good organizations in this world. You got to give back to the community. Life is so amazing. We're so lucky to have our health, to have our friends, our family. Not everybody has a family. Not everybody has their health. Not everybody has money to buy food. So give back to the community wherever you can.
When one of our family members, a friend, or maybe someone we don't even know, but they're part of our community, we gotta show up. Fundraising is a very important part of that. We have American Cancer Society has been around for over 100 years, and they're making a difference. I'm impressed with that, and I want to support that.
We need everybody involved. We have millions of people who have cancer. We all know someone who's had it or a family member. We need to all band together and help support the cause, whether it's for research or to help the families that are going through these traumatic issues involving cancer.
Yeah, so 1 in 3 are impacted. That means everyone's touched by this. We all need to do our part. This is one of those things where everyone needs to be involved. I hope everyone does get involved.
I think everybody has a reason, everybody has a connection, even if you don't know it. And sometimes people who have cancer and they're fighting the battle silently, they don't want to let anybody else know because they don't want to burden anybody else with their problems. But in this case, we really need to know that everybody is impacted by cancer. And it's our job to do what we can for the better future and to really make sure that we can eradicate the certain kinds of cancers that are out there that we have made strides on.
What's up, good people? It's your boy, bro Troy. We're back at it right here with my man Jiaani. What you got, bro Smith?
Yo, man, I really want to dive into the children aspect of this. You know, you ended the last comment by saying you had 2 baby mamas, got five kids total.
Right.
I'm curious, given that I just had my first not too long ago at the age of 40.
That's big.
You know, how having children, especially going through the lifestyle and the household that you came out of, how has that changed you throughout the years?
Yeah, so it's been a learning lesson, learning curve. With the last child that I have, the baby boy, he's taught me the most thus far, in the sense of learning to be more patient with the rest of my children, and which teaches me to be more patient with people in general. So it has helped a lot, and they all got super different personalities, and they all their own person, and just learning that I'm just a big ass kid too, and not that, like, at times when I want to get frustrated with them, to remember what I was like at their age. You know what I mean?
Grace.
Yeah, learning.
So you're not in survival mode at this point. From what I see,
Yeah.
you're more in thrive mode, which is a whole different energy.
For sure.
But being raised, for a lot of us, man, our parents were in survival mode.
Yeah.
So when you parent it, like, listen, it was just literally
Yeah.
everybody gets the same thing.
Yeah.
Right? Now, you just mentioned that you're literally parenting each child differently because they are so different.
Yeah.
When did you realize, yo, I gotta slow down and I gotta parent each child, each of the 5 differently, and how does that help you with, everybody you deal with, because everybody's so different?
Yeah, my wife kind of has helped me with that, for real. Like, just learning, like, hey, be patient. You got to do it over and over and over with them. You know what I mean? And seeing that one kid grasps it fast, that doesn't mean that this one grasps it fast, but this one grasps another thing fast. And just understanding, like, just to be patient, man, and understand that they're learning just like we're learning. You got to be patient, And if you're gonna be patient with anybody, be patient with your kids. Some of our family, they say our youngest, we spoil them bad. And I said, we are at a different space now than we were when we had our other children separately, right? I was in a different space at 21 than I am at 34, right? Across the board. And I said, yo, you only get to be a kid once. Why would you not spoil him? You know what I'm saying? Like, the world, he's going to go into the world. Now, this is just the way I follow it. But he's going to go into the world, and the world is going to do what the world is going to do. So why, let me prepare him by building him up as much as possible. Now, I don't want to lie to him, but I do want what I didn't feel like I had, and I want to give him, like, yo, you're amazing. Yo, you're going to be strong. Be mindful. Hey, muscles. Let me see your muscles. Like, just gearing them up for what is to come. You can't stop that, but you don't want to, like, and you're only a kid once. I keep saying that. Like,
so it sounds like preparation.
Yeah.
A sense of preparation, a sense of arming.
Yes.
Right? Because the world's going to be the world. Yeah. So how much of your parenting now is affected by what you had when you were younger or what you didn't have?
What a question, right? Yeah, so I think that the hard work that I did, I definitely got from my father. So shout out to that, seeing that from him. And that has gone into my kids tell me you work hard. They say we see you and we see you, like we see you. You do a lot of things in one day. So that has been beneficial. And then one thing my mother definitely taught me was be the man that you would look up to. She did used to say that a lot, and that has really rung off in my head as of lately. So those are the things that I've got from them. Getting into the world, just learning that to be gentle with people, because we all figuring it out, and to see people as big ass kids. Like, you know what I mean? Like, yo, he's, no matter, you could say Jay-Z, for example, right? Jay-Z's got, from the distance, it looks like he has a lot of things figured out, but he probably would admit there's still things he's a nuisance in, you know what I mean? And just knowing that is a sense of gratitude of, like, I don't know everything, and I'm a big kid, so let me be patient with myself. So I take that from, I didn't learn that from them. I learned that from, and mindfulness and meditation and things like that I learned amongst the world. I want to give that to my children. Sense of self, sense of, yo, you are powerful, you can do anything you want to do. Don't believe what people tell you about you. You should know yourself good enough and well enough to, if they say you're this, you could say, yeah, I am that, or no, I'm not that. A sense of self is very important, I think, in this world, especially in today.
Yeah.
So that, yeah.
Self-awareness is the
Self-awareness.
gift there is.
And accountability.
Yeah. Once I'm not better than anyone else, but I realize that I'm a better me. So therefore, there's certain things that I can say 2 words to, or 3, I'm good, and be okay with that. But one of my most important things, and Marcus Hodges said this when we interviewed Marcus. Shout out to Marcus. Yeah. He said, I had a lot of smart people around me.
Wow.
Because you just said, hey, yo, I don't have it all figured out.
Wow.
Okay, well, I don't have it all figured out either, but do we stay in that place, or do we get to a place where it's okay to ask for help? And then surround yourself with people that look at that as an honor. Like, yo, you could ask anybody. So, what are your thoughts on that?
That's a good. I never really thought about that until you said that like that.
Yeah, you should. I think people. In my personal opinion, yo, if I ask you for help, man, I love you enough to be vulnerable.
To be
around
vulnerable,
you.
yeah.
And that could be a gray area for me.
Yeah.
So if I reach out in that space and I feel like you're trying to belittle me, then we have a problem.
Yeah.
So. Being in that space and being around people that I trust enough to do that. But anyway, I want to hear your thoughts on it. Yeah.
So you're asking me, ask the question again?
Yeah, so, how important is it surrounding, Marcus said I surrounded myself with smart people, man. How important is that to you, and how has that journey came along to where you are now?
Man, that is a powerful question. I don't know. I failed a lot. I don't know. I don't know if I listened. I don't know if for me, it was the opposite. I did have some intelligent people around me. I just think I didn't listen, and I wanted to do it my own way, I guess. So I got it a little bumpier than most. But now that I'm older, I realize the power in that of, you got knowledge I don't have. Maybe I could just ask you and get your opinion on it and listen. And like I said, I'm in another space in my life where I'm open to things. When you're in survival mode, as he spoke of, you're in gimme, gimme, gimme. I don't know when my next meal is going to eat, so the meal is mine.
It's about me.
Yeah, and I'm 34, and I think I lived in survival mode probably 80% of my life. And I think I just got out of it not too long ago. So that, for me, I'm an anomaly, I guess you would say, of like, getting out of survival mode is like seeing the light. You don't have to be so like, no, you can't be next to me because I'm the one, and no, you can't because I'm the one. It's like, hold up, like, nah, we all could do this thing. You know what I mean? So I guess I would say that to that. You know what I mean?
And we talk about the mindset, which we'll talk about later, but understanding the difference in abundance and scarcity, and you mentioned it earlier, it all starts in here, and what you believe is what it is.
For sure.
So earlier though, I was watching the podcast, and we were talking about Tony Robbins.
Yeah.
And I was watching the podcast with Tony Robbins. He was interviewing Kathy Truitt, who is the owner of Chick-fil-A.
Yeah.
And he brought up 3 topics. He said
sure.
a man needs to know 3 things: his master, his mission, and his mate. I want to talk about it. You just talked about your wife. And I want to know how important it is, or what role she's played in the man that we see sitting with us today. Because I know she might be behind the scenes as we don't see her always, but I know she plays a vital role in your success.
For sure. She's a beast. She don't play no games. And I don't play no games. We're very self-accountable people. You know what I mean? I could sit up here and talk to you about like, yo, this happened and this happened, but man, I play no games when it comes to my life and where I'm going. I'm just vulnerable enough to take the armor off for a moment, sit with y'all and talk about it, and then once these cameras get off, it's back on. I gotta do shit. And she knows that about me, so she don't play no games with pushing that and keeping me at that space. This man wants a lot. He wants a lot, not only for himself, for his family, for me, and I believe in him and I trust in him. So I'm gonna give him my all. And she knows when I go out that door, I'm playing for keeps. And I'm not here to shit on nobody else, but I'm here to get mine. And I'm gonna get mine, and I'm not gonna allow nobody to get in my way with that. And she knows I'm serious about that. So she's 100% invested. If I was anything opposite of that, I wouldn't have that strong woman. I got a strong woman because I'm a strong man. So we lean on each other. But man, she's been a strong role, most because of the accountability. You said you was this. Well, does this reflect it? What are you going to say to that? Except, you're right.
That's the toughest, them 2 words right there, man. They can be the toughest 2 words ever, man.
And she's not trying to be right. She's not trying to be right.
Yeah.
She's trying to be right for y'all.
Exactly. That was fire.
Right.
Yeah. And you know, I guess
That's a bar right there.
that was. She's trying to be right. She's trying to be right.
Damn, old head. No, I'm just
Hey, I am the oldest in the room.
Oh, Jimmy saying some shit. Nah, it's you know, not to, you know, I wasn't, you know, trying to step too much on the credit of myself, but man, I believe that, you know, bro, it's not from an ego standpoint, but I pour into my wife, and that's why she pours into me, and she pours into me. That's why I pour into her. So it's a 100-100 thing, not a 50-50. We 100-100. She knows her role and she kills her role, and I know my role, and when I try to step into her role and she gonna get me out of there. I don't tell you how to do these things, so I need you to listen and be mindful, and I gotta respect that. You know, I was telling people on my team the other day, I want everybody around me to be a Jordan in their right. I used to want Pippins and Currys and shit. I don't want that. I want you to be a Jordan at what you do. When it comes to making the money and things like that and building, that's what I do. I got that. Right. If we go through tough times or whatever, look, I got it. Don't worry about that. I got it.
You hold your end.
You know what I'm saying? And I make sure that this doesn't bleed into what you're doing, because I don't want the vice versa. We, you know, so yeah. I get excited when I talk about my wife.
Yeah, we gotta take another break, man. We'll be here all day, man. We are getting ready to get in the meat and potatoes. When we come back, we want to tap into that mindset.
For sure, let's go.
Talk into that wellness. We want to talk into how you pour into your cup. We all deal with different devils on different levels, and what that looks like to you on a daily basis, holistically, and of course as a family. We got my man Jiaani right here on the Bro Code Show.
Yup.
Attention corporate heroes. Your support isn't just a gesture. It's a catalyst for change. Making Strides Against Breast Cancer salutes the incredible impact of our corporate sponsors. Your partnership fuels the engines of progress, helping us pave the way towards a breast cancer-free world. Every donation you make strengthens the foundation of research and care. Every volunteer effort you invest creates a ripple effect of compassion. And when your employees join our walks, they embody the spirit of unity and determination that defines our movement. Visit our website today to explore how your corporation can become a beacon of hope. Your sponsorship isn't just a logo. It's a commitment to shaping a healthier, brighter future. Join Making Strides Against Breast Cancer, and let's stride hand in hand towards a world where corporate compassion sparks real change.
We're back on the Bro Code Show. We got my man Jiaani. Look, we've talked about a lot, bro, but we haven't dug into the passion.
Yes, sir.
Music. Sure. You've done many projects, but you got a new one out now, right?
Yes, sir.
Walk us through that, man. What can we look forward to hearing? Is it gonna be some of the same? What you got going on?
Yeah. So the name of the album is Monumental, and anyone who wants to find it, I did it directly through my website. Okay. And what I did is I tied in the website for this store, for my mentorship, and my music all in one space.
What's the website? What you got?
It's Kick, K-I-C, unlimitedlife.com. KickUnlimitedLife.com. Okay. And if they're looking for me on Instagram, it's at I am Jiaani, and the link is in the bio, so you can. It's an easy tap. Okay. But yeah, man, this album is 8 records. You know what I mean? And the title of it was Memento Mori. In Latin, it means remember that you will die. And I think for me, it was a transformation of 2 things. The old me has to die for the new me to be born, and this needed to happen. And then I heard a quote about billionaires. The difference between millionaires and billionaires is billionaires, they think about death at least 5 times a day. And the reason they do that is because they utilize that as fuel to stay focused on, I have to do what I need to do so I can leave my impact, right? And so that, remember that you will die. And that you could be ready to post something that's amazing, but you don't want to post it because you're worried about this or that. Hey, remember, you will die. You know what I mean?
Billionaires are more legacy-minded.
Legacy-minded.
I love that.
Yeah,
I love that. Go ahead, yeah, that was good.
Yeah.
So stoicism, and that's where a lot of that comes from. On the album, one of the tracks is called The Magic. The Magic.
I like the 50s. I like the 100s.
I gave the 20s to wifey and told her run it. Yeah.
Look, man, anybody
like
who
vibes.
listens to, but what I love about your
take-
music, I can listen to your music and I can vibe. I can be with, I can be in the car by myself. I can
Come
work
on.
out to it.
The magic.
But I can also sit down with a journal.
For sure.
And
It's
get it-
all about, the album is about manifestation if you listen to every record. You know? So it's like, the record of the money is like, yo, you gotta, I take it all. I take 5, 10s, the 20s, the 1s go to the kids. I tell them spend it, you know? And it's about that. Because, you know, listen, a lot of these people, not a lot of these people in general, I think we think like money is like a bad thing. Like, no, you need that. You need that freedom. You deserve that. That's what you're here for. That's the only thing that people put in between people for them to not reach their goals is a piece of paper. So we got to go get it. You know what I mean? We got to buy, you know.
Why'd you decide to put it out like that?
Directly?
Directly.
That's a good question, man. So essentially, like, I had got a deal with a big record label. I won't say who they are. I did a distribution deal with them. As an artist, I'm like, oh, this is about to be it. You know, I'm excited. And it just wasn't what I thought it was, you know. And that's not a shot to them. It just, I'm not one of those people. The way my life has been set up, I can't play anybody else's game. I gotta play my own. And I'm okay with taking the long route because I made that decision and I made that choice and I've accepted my journey with that, right? So essentially what I looked at the numbers. I did 500,000, 600,000 streams through this company and I get the checks every month and I'm like, this don't add up. I'm doing the numbers and I'm looking at people like what Nipsey did years ago with the $100 album, and then he spoke about how a guy in Philadelphia came out with $100 sub and that's what made him. So I went and I read the book. And a guy in Philadelphia came out with $100 sub, and people was like, what? He's crazy. But that's what made him want to go check it out, and come to find out the sub was amazing. And then you got people like La Russell that's taking their steps into the right direction. And so I said, you know what? There's 112,000 people on my Instagram following. If I can get 1,000 of these people to shop with me at 25 to, you know, and I drop 4 albums a year, one every season. That's a jewel for you artists out there. Drop 4 albums a year, one every season. Here you go. Here's the game right here.
And then merch with it.
Yeah, combine and then there you go. And you're pulling 70, you know, you're pulling 70, 50,000 every time you drop an album if you do it right. You know what I mean? You add the numbers of that. It's 200 grand in your pocket. If that's not enough for you to chase your dreams and go where you need to go, I don't know what is. So, but I'm saying that to say, it was like, all right, I'm about to bet on myself. Right, and it took me a year to build this. People don't know this. I've been building with these ladies from Canada that came to me and they wanted to help me with the website. And I said, I really want to make the website an all-inclusive thing with my music. And they're like, that's a good idea. So here we are now. We're a weekend. We're a little over 700 records right now, and it's every day. It's a beautiful thing, like, to see it, man. Every time it happens, I say, thank you, God. My wife, when she hears me, says the same thing because she knows this is what I want to do. You know, and
he's been bashing us on our generation for a bit. I got a question. Your generation is gonna have to, well, all of us really, it's gonna have to deal with AI. I'm curious what your thoughts are in regards to artificial intelligence, ChatGPT type stuff, and the influence it's gonna have on the culture in terms of, you won't know, your words matter.
Yeah.
And now the words aren't necessarily coming from you. You know, it could be coming from this bot. Like, how do you think that's changing the game for the good or the worse in terms of the rap culture?
I think only the strong survive in anything. And I think that can't no machine give me what I can get from God. So that's going to be the difference, you know what I mean? Like, doing the daily work on a daily level, like, the strong that do those things every day, you're going to separate yourself off top. You know, can't no machine create that. You know what I mean? Machine can't, they can duplicate culture, but they can't create it. So that's how I'm looking at it. I don't really be like, these days, bro, I really don't be looking at competition, or I don't look at none of that. I'm in creation mode right now. Cause the thing is, like, the more I look like this and like this, cause I notice when I do it, I'm taking too much energy away from my thing. And when I put energy in my thing, like, the opportunities and the options are endless. Yeah, so I say that to that.
So when you're putting out stuff, how do you factor in how to express your own feelings? And what you know is going to resonate with a wider audience? Are the two the same?
Yes and no. Like, that's the fire question too, because it's like, all right, I know what I want to say,
and how can I make sure that this connects with someone else, and how do I say it in a way to make them connect, right? So you got to take your time on that. That's something that I feel like you go through a lot of records and you're like, damn, like 30, 40 records, and it's like these are the 8 that I feel like are the ones. So it's really like just taking your time. What am I trying to say? And then what is the space I'm in? Because some of the records didn't make it because I wasn't in that space anymore, and I felt like I'd be lying to the energy. You know, maybe some.
So you put out 8, right, for the project that you just probably put out.
Yeah.
8. How many did you have in total to get to the 8?
Like 33, 34 maybe. I just said 40 because it sounded
I
good.
asked because people always see the finished product.
Yeah.
But they don't see the work that puts in. Like they don't see what it took to grind down and take it down. And this is your baby. This is your art. So you took 34 of your kids.
Yeah.
And was like, all right, I'm going to do this one. So what do you do with the other ones?
They just get in the stash. That's a good question. I don't do nothing with them because, I don't know, that's a good question. I just put them up. And then maybe sometimes, I got this one record I recorded 6 years ago at the beginning of my transformation that I feel like I'm still not ready to put out, but it's there. It's this song, and it's so beautiful to me. It's a beautiful record. I just feel like maybe the world isn't ready to see that side of me yet. Or maybe I'm not ready to get that side yet to the world, right? But I'm excited about knowing that I got a couple of records that are very introspective. I got this one record called What the Fuck Mama. And it was like, when I listened to this record, I've cried like on numerous occasions on this record. Cause it's like, but I told my mom I won't put it out until I could play it for her. You know what I'm saying? So records like that.
So more on hip hop, but since you just brought it up, as a man, we're really leaning into wellness, and we'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
But you just said I cry.
Yeah.
Was there a space in your life where, I don't
For
do that? Because
sure.
you know I'm sure you were raised just like we were, where that wasn't real.
Nah,
Is there
no.
a space now where you've evolved into understanding your body, the emotions, stress, and how that all works?
Yeah, man. You know, I just been in a lot of altercations in my life, and I say that to say like, I don't have to prove to nobody I'm tough. You know what I mean? My life says it. Like, I couldn't have got to this point by not being tough, being resilient, so I don't gotta overcompensate. And I'm saying that to myself. You don't have to overcompensate no more in that type of space.
You're not proved, so we're not proved. And it goes back to competition.
Right. It's like, look, right, as men, I feel we gotta get a little more comfortable with, but this comes from making sure that we doing the work on ourselves, right? I know what I did this morning, I know what I did yesterday, the day before, and I know now, especially like doing the boxing thing, it's like I know what I'm capable of. I don't have to lead with that. But oftentimes when we don't feel like we're capable of it, we lead with it. And I've seen it so many times in the streets where the toughest be the softest. And that made me see the guys that one time I looked up to, certain guys that I seen them get broken. And I was like, damn. And the fall from it it's a tremendous fall. So I think staying grounded towards our emotions and understanding, not being emotional. I learned that. That was right? Because it's like you don't want to be out here like, well, you know, you just, nah. But being in tune with what you're feeling and being comfortable with like, yo, this is how I'm feeling. And if anyone tests or goes against me because of what I'm projecting, then I'll meet it how I need to meet it. But I meet people based on I meet people based on what I see in front of me. If it's love and it's good energy, I'm gonna meet you with that. And if it's the other thing, I can do that too. But I don't want to lead with that. Cause I did it for much of my life and realized it was a waste of fucking time. But so yeah, crying is good at times. However, what I'm learning, like at one time, like, cause I was so grateful at what I had, I would cry a lot. Like maybe I don't deserve this shit. Like damn, thank you God, and I stopped doing that. So I don't cry as much. And when I want to cry, I like try, but it's like something not allowing me, and it's not because like I'm too hardened. I think it's just I'm learning to learn what I'm feeling a little more, and not dive off the deep end of what I'm feeling too much. I hope that answers the question in a way that where it makes sense. I don't know if it does.
I appreciate it. That's actually a great direction. So 50 years of hip hop.
Yeah.
I mean, you are, all the artists we think of, you're one of them.
Man.
Not a lot of them have went independent. Slim Thug was talking the other day and he said he would love for more artists to really understand that the nature of the industry, which is the artist does not get paid what they should. So seeing you direct all of your to you, and kind of like you integrating all your life into one space.
Yeah.
it takes a lot of courage to bet on yourself on that level because you have a lot to lose.
Yeah. Yeah.
Speak to more artists, like, because we're the same way with our show. We're going to keep it to us, however that looks. So, why don't more artists do that?
Ownership, yeah.
I think, and you said it, scared, you know what I mean? And I think people want to be accepted in that industry. The industry, every time I was around it, they didn't accept me anyway. And as someone who was providing in a way, you know what fucked me up, to be candid, like, but not candid, clearly, I would be around these certain rappers, and at that time, I'd be like, I got more money than them. But you flashing like you, and then you be around them and you see gaps in it, and it's like, this shit kind of weird. And then you see certain things, and you're in certain parties and certain things that's kind of weird that you probably have heard about, and it's the truth is really awkward. And the way they do certain things, like, yeah, I'm cool on this. This is super weird. I'm turned off. I don't even want to listen to homies' music no more. This shit weird. Like and it's like seeing it, pulling the curtain back, I guess you would say, and be like, what the fuck? What? I don't even want to be over here. Like,
I think Nipsey said it, didn't he? He said it's a lot of goofy stuff going
it
on
is.
here.
It is.
Yeah,
and that's why somebody like him took the long road. You know what I mean? Man, so they only gonna let you, in my opinion, in any business, they only gonna let you go to a certain spot unless you create it and it's yours. That's it. Even in this realm, certain podcasters, not y'all are a show, right? The certain shows that are podcasted, they have to cut them such a big check. Maybe I shouldn't say that. No, fuck it. They gotta cut them a big check because they see where they're going already. So they gotta cut them a check that they can't refuse because it's dramatically life changing.
Change your life, yeah.
You understand? So it's like, yo, come over here, and they're like, shit, fuck, man, you talking about this much money? You might as well just, you know what I mean? Let me keep you right here. And I get it. Everybody has I don't knock none of them. I'm just telling you what the game is. I don't knock none of them. You know what I'm saying? If somebody brings the right price to me and it aligns with where I'm going, I'm down to play the game too. Hold on.
In percentages.
But when I mean the game, I mean if it aligns with where I'm going.
That's the missing part, right?
I ain't hopping in no suit doing no shit that ain't, you know what I mean? The values in But I guess in business though, as we know, like, you got to give a little bit too. You can't just like, no, I'm not going to be like that. And like, you got to give a little bit too. But it has to align with who you are.
So I love that because we just did it. We did a small event and it was a different dressing event. And I'm always like, I don't believe I got to be dressed a certain way to be successful.
Right.
That I dress was comfortable to me and what creative for me. But I put a suit coat on, but I still have my J's on. I still have the element of cool.
Fire.
And so I don't ever want to give that away.
I like that.
So I'm gonna be me. And if I go in a room, and we all talk about this, if I can't be me in the room,
I don't want to be in the room.
I'm not going. No, I'm not going. How many times have we been spaces and walked back out? I'm not going, bro.
I'm good.
Like you can.
It's like if you can't be celebrated, why go there?
Yeah, I'm good, man.
Yeah.
I want exactly right. I want to be celebrated, not tolerated. I don't travel in spaces that I have to be a version of myself. So yeah, and I know that I add value to any room that I'm in.
There it is.
It should be appreciated.
There it is.
It should be welcome. It should be celebrated.
And what's wrong with saying that nowadays? You know, I think people is like, oh, what do you mean? You know what I mean? When somebody's like, I know I have value. And I know people don't like that for some reason, you know what I mean? But fuck them, you know what I mean? In a sense of like, when you step into your power, people gonna feel away. People gonna be like, what? But look at it like this. This is what I always tell people in my Mindset Club, right? Which I know we'll talk about, but I want to say this while we talk about. Once you decide to put your foot on the court, right? You can't listen to the fans in the stands. I was telling you this, right? You can, and most of the people we know, most of our families, and we love them. Loving their fans in the stands, though. And then if LeBron is listening when he going to shoot that shot, and this person is, you suck, you trash, you did it. The moment you listening, you throwing your game off. You know what I'm saying? And players, as players, you so locked in, you not focused on the next player because you locked in on your game. You know what I mean? So when people be like, oh, competition, I'm already knowing you're not my competition, because if you was my competition, I would see you, you would see me, and we would just know. Like, we about to, you know what I mean? I'm not here to beat you, I'm here to beat whatever version of me that's not strong enough. I got to beat him to get to where I need to go, you know? So we players on the court, man, you know what I mean? And that's don't listen to the fans in the stands.
Good segue. We want to get into mindset and talk about that mentality, man. We'll be right back on the Bro Code Show.
Get ready for the adventure of a lifetime at Camp Fusion. Located in the picturesque heart of North Carolina, Camp Fusion is your passport to a 1-week, stay-away 4-H summer camp like no other. Imagine a place where children and seniors come together to explore their passions, learn new skills, and forge friendships that will stand the test of time. At Camp Fusion, we've perfected the art of blending adventure, learning, and socializing into an unforgettable experience. It's a summer camp that defies expectations. Embark on thrilling outdoor adventures, uncover hidden talents through hands-on workshops, and create lasting memories around the campfire. Our beautiful North Carolina setting provides the perfect backdrop for it all. But Camp Fusion is more than just fun. It's a place where growth happens. Campers leave with newfound skills, increased confidence, and a lifelong network of friends. Join us for a week that promises excitement, discovery, and camaraderie. Camp Fusion is where the journey begins and the memories last forever. Reserve your spot today.
We're back on the Bro Code Show. Jiaani, we talked about a lot, man. We're getting ready to land this plane.
Yes, sir.
But we'd be remiss if we didn't talk about wellness and what that means to you. What you got, Chris?
Yeah, man. So we have leaned into wellness on another level because it's one of the areas as we serve in the community that I feel like hold us back in the culture.
Yeah.
I don't truly believe you can be successful at the highest level. You might have a little material wealth. You might build a nice house and travel, get some blue water under your feet. But if you're not taking care of your temple, like in my mind, you can't be successful. Right. I've seen you're leveling up in that area. You're integrating it into everything you do. You've created your Elevated Mindset Club. Speak to us about why that's important to you.
Yeah, wellness is super important. I think just a necessity of not having it for so long in my life, and then wanting quality of life over the money. Quality of life is very important to me. I went to Greece like 3 years ago with Sharif from Raleigh Raw that I was telling y'all about, and to see the way the people over there, when they cut the food, they pull it fresh out the ground, and they care about the food. They care about what and it just transitioned it. When I wake up in the morning, I feel, when I wake up and I get that time, as we spoke on, for myself, before my family gets up, and I'm eating a certain amount of calories a day, to not overstimulate my body. I like to stay in a caloric deficit, and I'm at the early stages of it now, but check back in a year, my body gonna be crazy, because I understand now where to do it right. And staying in a caloric deficit for me keeps my mind constantly hungry, and I'm not settling. So that is like a trick for the guys out there.
Put them on, put us on. Yeah. It sounds like you're cheating yourself out of calories. Talk to us about that.
Yeah, so the caloric deficit, it's different for every body style, right? So I started at 184, I'm 5'8". I wanted to cut weight. So now I'm at 143 and I'm going back up now. I'm going back to building. I wanted to take off before building. Anyways, for my body style, I needed 1,500 calories a day. And this is a trick right here that a lot of trainers, they don't tell you, because they can say keep working out, but you don't see a lot of transformation until you cut the calorie intake. And so for us as men, we need high protein, low carb. You know what I'm saying? So for me, like somebody like you, probably 2,000 calories, probably like 2,500, like based on the body style. But it keeps you in a, when you eat too much, it slows the body down. It's shutting it, because the body has to, whoa, hold on, let us get this together. It has to put it here, and let me take this and move it here, and then let me put this over here, and let me do, What happens is, if you break that up throughout the day and you give it a little less, the body knows it gets to keep moving. It's like, imagine like a conveyor belt, right? It's easy to take in. We put in the boxes together. I think about this I Love Lucy episode my grandmother used to watch with the chocolates, and she used to eat the chocolate. It's like that, right? But if it comes in enough space and there's enough of it, our body flows easily, which allows our mind to flow easily, which allows us to breathe easier, which allows us to become more magnetic. And that's the real trick of how do we become magnetic? We are magnetic creatures. So wellness for me has shifted my life. And it's beautiful because I'm just at the early stages of it, but I see a dramatic change in my home life and how I deal with other human beings and how present that I am and how grateful I am. And I know where that will be the fuel to where it's gonna take me in the future. So staying in a caloric deficit is, and you guys can check that out. You can check it out from different doctors and different things, but Sure.
It sounds like a lot of work. So I gotta buy a scale. You want me to go to the grocery store? And
I mean, what you
labels,
wanted? Listen, they
labels.
said the bill for regret is gonna be worse than the bill for paying the, you know what I mean? So that's on you, and it's not a lot.
It's not.
It's not. I know. You wasn't saying like it was a lot. I know. You were saying for the people out there, but listen, it's not a lot. You gotta cut down the BS. Cut down the drinking. I told my man the other day, I'm coaching one of my friends. He went and ran 3 miles, and then I see him on the Instagram posting 3 shots. I said, well, there go the miles right there. Look at the calories. He was like, God, I just looked the calories up at that.
All that for that. Like, so
it's not worth it.
I might do an hour cardio. I look at the calories, and then when I go look at the label, I'm like, yo, I'm not eating that.
Yeah.
I just put a whole hour in on that.
You know what's helped? Y'all two got it on. I almost wore mine. That right there is like,
it counts everything.
Man, listen, man. I got so many watches. These is my favorite.
Yeah.
It's like I need to know how many steps I'm doing today. I want to know
if you're conscious of it.
Yeah.
It's a hybrid smartwatch.
Yeah. It's like it can do everything. I wasn't doing shit.
Don't leave me out, man.
He's like it's a chat GPT watch. Nah, but wellness is very important for us. You know what I mean? Especially as multiracial men or whatever you want to say, you know, black, Persian, whatever, right? We got different things, man. My father had a quadruple bypass surgery not long ago, so I understand that the importance of eating healthy, speaking healthy, thinking healthy.
I want to commend you, you know, because in this episode we've talked about a lot of trauma. You know, from trauma when you were younger. You know, it evolved, and now here we sitting in your shop. Something that you created,
yes, sir,
with your mind, with all of that. Now here you are talking about being a better man, being a better father, unpacking things, and being and acknowledging. For me, as a man that does deal with different devils on different levels, I admire that.
Respect.
You know, I really do. I have much respect to you, and I hope that for those that listen to that, one, it lets people know that it's possible.
Yeah.
Right? How you start and how you finish, 2 different things. Right? Because it's the energy and the effort that you put into it. It's the acknowledgement. And for you said patience, which is oftentimes isn't my virtue. Like that's one of the things that I really, right? Because everybody wants the microwave success, and whether it's a personal or in business or in relationships, sometimes that can be frustrating.
Yeah.
Personally, that can be very frustrating. Because I'm a man that lives in purpose. Like every day, like, it never fails. So I commend you for that. I really want to thank you for sharing too. Respect. But now we got another segment.
Let's go.
We've asked you a whole lot of questions, bro. Now it's your turn. Okay. We call this segment Flip the Script. So on Flip the Script, you now become the host. You can ask us whatever you want. The mic is yours.
All right, let's do it. We'll start with you. We spoke earlier about your grandfather, right? If you could tell your grandfather anything, if you could tell him anything, what would you tell him?
That's a good one. Before we started doing the show, obviously with phones now, recording became normal. Like hooking up microphones started to become normal in the last 5 to 6 years. Well, he turned 100. I did that with him, and I'm telling this story to answer your question.
Yeah.
Where I got a chance to actually sit down with before we even started doing this, to sit down with my grandfather at 100 and do exactly what we're doing now.
Wow.
And just ask him questions. Now, I'm 43, so I was probably about 37 when I got a chance to do that, give or take. My grandfather was a very hard man. He was born in 1920, so there was no wearing any emotions on your sleeve. Do what I told you to do, boy, and be quick about it.
Right.
And don't let me have to say it again. Right. And I mean, traumatic. I remember he hung up the belt that he would beat me. It was hung up, and I would pass it. Oh man! I mean, like,
don't forget your friend right there.
I mean, like I would
one step away from
me. Yo, I would pass it going out the door. He would just look at me, and it was always that. But I loved him, like, and he showed his love through gifts. So to answer your question, you know, I would tell him I love you. I would tell him I always appreciate you. You know, we didn't have those conversations. We never, and if it wasn't for an iPhone and him being old enough now where all right, boy, he didn't even know the camera was recording. You know what I mean? Like I'm just sitting down, just having some fun with my grandfather. So yeah, I would really let him know and have those intimate conversations and share those sentiments with him. because we didn't do that at all.
Man.
You know, there was none of that. You know, the love was shown through, I bought you a car, now shut up and go get good grades.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it wasn't a hug, it wasn't, I'm proud of you, none of that. You know, he showed that through gift giving.
Gifts. Oh, I definitely know he's proud of you, for sure.
I like
big.
to believe so.
Yeah.
I like to believe so, yeah, indeed.
He's learning from you in another realm. And they still learn as they transition. They watch and they observe. That's powerful, though. I appreciate you being comfortable to share that, too, though.
Oh, yeah. Vulnerability and trust is a big deal for us. It's important. It's a gift that keeps on giving. We talked about self-awareness. Well, that fits into that box. And for you to, and for us, especially as servant leaders, being able to offer that gift to a child is invaluable. You know,
It gotta be authentic. Giving is gangster. Y'all want to be gangster? Giving is gangster for the you know what I mean? For the youth out there. All right, I got a question for you.
Okay.
All right. What's your biggest fear?
Oh man. It goes through stages. And if I'm truly being honest with myself, I would say fear of success in some space, you know, in terms of, you know, I have a lot of what I want, but it keeps me to the point where like, damn, but how do I get more? Or should I even try to get more? Like, should I just be grateful, you know, with what I have? And so I'm constantly challenging myself to kind of get over that hump and try this and try that and try this and try that. In the minute where I get to that point where it's like, all right, success is I can see it. Somehow, some way, I struggle to get over that hump sometimes. So it's not so much the failure because I'll try anything.
Yeah.
I sold knives, suits, shoes. You know, it's the in some cases, it's that success. Like what happens if I get it, and I don't, and it doesn't feel like what I thought it would be.
Yeah.
Now what?
Now what? Like now I got these houses.
That's a real thing.
You know, but
yeah.
Now what? Like, so it's good from the standpoint of it keeps me going. You know, to where it's like I'm not afraid to try new things, but you know, I'd be lying if I said it wasn't a challenge in terms of being comfortable getting it, you know, and figuring out what do I do next once I have it. How do I make that a bigger piece of me and my family and make it more successful?
I like that. That's real. You ready?
Man, he's good. That was good.
What's holding you back?
Whew. That's a good question. And the answer is nothing other than me. It's me. It's always been me. Bro, it's always been me.
Right.
Like, I cut a reel earlier, it was talking about being comfortable in your skin. And y'all know this, our upbringing sometimes in the environments that we go out in every day, they don't allow you to be comfortable in your own skin. They make you bend to what it looks like. And when you grow up in that, and I've done a lot of healing work, man. I've done a lot of work on my wounded child, so I'm ready. But it was always me. So like, to give you a story, like a lot of the spaces that I wanted to be in, we talk about this all the time, we don't have those letters behind our names. You know, not all of us. Some of us. But there was always like that thing when they see you walk in with your head up and they feel that energy of king, and there's like, this cat really know, oh, where'd you go to school? Nah, that don't work no more. That used to work.
Yeah.
Where I'd be like, oh, they right. I'm not worried. Now it's like, and it was great because last year I had the opportunity to train the people with the letters.
Come on, man.
Right? So like once I moved out of my own way, bro, I'm serious on this. Man. Like it was such a, and it's funny because I called him on it. I was like, yo, this opportunity. He's like, man, go and take it, bro. Because I wasn't even gonna take it. I was like, I don't want that energy. I'm good. But I did it, and it was like all I was being shown by God was, look, I can do whatever you allow me to do in your life. I can make you train those that went to school for 12 years.
Easy.
And I ain't been to school for 12 minutes.
Easy. Easy.
Yeah, those letters,
but
for sure.
And I'm not downplaying anybody that's been to school.
I understand.
Yo, respect.
Yeah,
I get what that is. But I've been to school too.
Yeah.
Just in a different classroom.
Right. Man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I know you know.
Yeah, exactly. Man, that's big, man. I wanted to make sure that, you know what I mean, when I asked a question, like, you know, it was a good one. You know what I mean? And it was based on each person and what I'm seeing and what I'm like, okay, let me see what this
We
person
usually get the same questions, right?
How'd y'all meet?
We don't get
How do y'all work together?
Because you know, and nothing's wrong with those questions, but I want to be impactful. I want people when they watch this to be sit down for a second, like, hold on, we might gotta watch this a little later because I really want to hear what they talking about. You know, because even and I know we gotta wrap it up, but everybody here is like they own thing. Everybody's they own in their own right. So it's like you're not doing justice to yourself and your grandfather and your grandmother or your mom or whoever by not stepping into it fully, because they sacrificed 101 years to where it's like, man.
And moreover, to your point, before we go to break, me not walking into my full destiny is doing a injustice for those that need my gift.
That's it right there.
Like it's called a gift because I'm supposed to give it. So whose life, whose sanity, whose validity of purpose am I not offering by not saying, yo, I'm gonna walk heavy in this, because I figured out this is what God has purposed me to do. And that has been shown in relevance in a lot of the work that we've done in the last 6 years. So yeah, that it is always going to be part of the conversation. And for those that we align with or connect with, that's part of their value as well. So that's why oftentimes it happens effortlessly. You know, it just, and timing, you know, even if we talk about this happening today, this was a year in the making, right?
Yeah.
But it was supposed to happen in this place, in this moment, in this space, with you being a year in, out with, all of that was supposed to happen.
Man.
I can't say I always looked at that a year ago.
Yeah.
I can't say I always reflected on that a year ago. So I appreciate, one, having brothers around me that can be that voice, and then me being willing to listen to it. That's a skill all by itself.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, we're here on the Bro Show. We're talking to Jiaani. We'll be right back.
At Camp Fusion, we believe in the power of transformation through adventure, learning, and friendship. Our 1-week stay-away 4-H summer camp in the stunning North Carolina landscape is a place where children and seniors can unlock their potential, acquire new skills, and build lifelong bonds. But to continue providing this life-changing experience, we need your help. As a 501c3 nonprofit organization, we rely on the generosity of individuals like you to support our mission. Your donation can make a world of difference. It can open doors for children and seniors who might not have the means to attend Camp Fusion otherwise. It can fund essential programs, maintain our beautiful campgrounds, and ensure that the magic of Camp Fusion continues for generations to come. When you donate to Camp Fusion, you're not just contributing to a camp, you're investing in the future of our campers. You're helping them develop valuable life skills, boost their confidence, and create memories that will shape their lives. Your support means the world to us. Together, we can continue providing this unique blend of adventure, learning, and socializing that defines Camp Fusion. Join us in making a lasting impact on the lives of our campers. Visit our website and donate today. Together, let's ensure that every child and senior has the opportunity to experience the magic of Camp Fusion. Thank you for being a part of our journey and for helping us create a brighter future.
We're back on the Bro Code Show. Look, we are wrapping this thing up, man. We always want to do something special for our guests. Before the show, we asked you, what's a word that you use to describe yourself, or that you use to encourage yourself in times of trouble? You said resilient. Yeah. We've heard that word a couple times. Maybe not just in our conversations, but of the 145 times that we've done this. Yeah, put some respect on our name.
That part.
With that being said, we got something for you, bro.
So we always want to give a $2 bill.
Okay.
You don't see them every day.
Okay.
You're kind of like that guy. You don't see Jiaani every day. You're different. Just the way it is. We all signed it from our team. We want you to keep it. On the front, it says you matter, and it says your word resilient. And here's why you matter. Bro, everything you went through and you shared a lot with us on camera and off.
Yes, sir.
There are people in that space right now, like your music, your lifestyle, your vulnerability, just who you are, man. Everything you're doing is gonna speak life into, and that's impactful, bro. Like, yeah, you iced out, you got your stuff. I see all that, but I know somewhere in your heart, man, there's more to what you want to do, and I'm really excited to continue to watch, man. So there are people out there that you're gonna change their life with your story. So keep doing what you're doing, bro.
Thank you.
We appreciate you.
That's big too. I appreciate it. This is such a unique, dope way to leave your energy. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna frame it, and if it's cool with y'all, I'm gonna put it in the front of my store.
Yeah, man, I love it.
That's cool.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Words matter. Why did you pick resilient?
As a reminder to myself that no matter what, you gotta keep going. You gotta keep going.
Straight like that.
Yeah, that's it. I was gonna say consistent, but I'm at the beginning of consistent, and I ain't gonna lie to that. But I damn sure am resilient. You know what I mean? I can guarantee that. You know what I mean?
Some hella high water.
We gonna get that. We gonna make it happen.
Indeed. We got one more segment. It's called Calling Them Out.
For sure.
You know, this is where we get to our next best guest. Your network is different than ours. Your circle is different than ours. Is there someone in your circle that you believe would appreciate this type of experience? Well, first let's start there. Do you appreciate the experience? Tell us about the experience.
This was unique. This was unique. More so than it was unique. It was. I'm grateful for it. I mean, you guys came to my house, my store, with no ego, and you guys were just very great conversation off camera and on camera, and just three beautiful, interesting souls, man, that I love to, I love to see what y'all are doing, and I hats off to it, and keep going, man, and keep going, and then keep being unique, man, cause y'all got dope personalities that are three different personalities. Bring that out more. If I can give anything, bring out the individuality. I see it. It's radiating off of y'all. So keep that up, man. But it's been dope. It's been a great. What was it? 2 hours, 3 hours?
No, just talking, right?
Yeah. And it's been great. That's how fast time flies when you're having a good conversation. So it's been great. And I think that I like that you matter. And I think that you guys coming sitting out here taking 3 hours out of your time to talk to me about what I got going on and other people. I think that says something about y'all's character as well, about how y'all are giving and y'all care about other people's story and mixing y'all's DNA in it as well is fire.
Well, I appreciate that, brother. So now it's time for you to call out 1, 2, 3, whatever God puts on your heart. Who needs to be on? This your camera right here.
This my camera?
That's another camera right there. Let them know.
This is my camera?
Let them know.
Is this my camera?
That's it right there.
I call out my man Sharif Fowd, the owner of Raleigh Raw. You gotta come do this, bro. You gotta push up. You gotta let them come to the store. You gotta hook them up. You gotta get different ginger shots. You gotta get the salads, the poke bowls. Hook them up and explain to them not only how you've affected the people in the city with great food, but how you've affected my life with your knowledge and the food. And you gotta push up to the Bro Code show, man.
I appreciate it.
You got to, dog.
Yes, sir. Right here, we need you, man, on the Bro Code show. I don't want to stop your shine. You got anybody else?
At the moment, not.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I got one more person.
Oh, okay.
My man Javon Woodward, man, boxer, pro boxer. Pro boxer, up and coming. This is my brother right here. I train with him, I work with him, I spar with him, I got my ass whooped by him a couple times. Amazing human being, him and his father. The work he's putting in. Javon Pop Woodward. Oh, I got another one. My man Kenny, the owner of Pride Boxing Gym. This guy's incredible. Kenny, you gotta push up to the Bro Code show. His energy, his wisdom, he's incredible. Do I got anybody else off top? That's it.
So we got Kenny.
We got Kenny. I'll give y'all all the information. We got Kenny, we got Pop, and we got Sharif.
We need you on the Bro Code show.
We need you.
Right here. I love it. We always end the show on a positive, man. So with all of your wisdom, all of the mental mindset leveling up, we always drop one last gem.
That's what we here for.
For our audience. So what's a quote or something you read that you live by that keeps you day by day?
So I'm gonna speak it to make it more universal, but I'm gonna say the quote first. Be the man that you would look up to. So woman, be the woman that you would look up to. Be the man that you would be, the person that you're looking for to help you. No one is coming to help you. You are the help that you're looking for. Be that person. Turn into that person. And then go out and affect people and change people and give them the game, man.
Well, you heard it right here on the Bro Code show. I'm Bro Troy.
Bro Kurt.
And Bro Smith.
You don't never get it right. We are the Bro Code. Another one.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. All right, what's happening, brother? How you doing, man?
My guy, what's up with you?
Look, man, you just got finished filming with Bro Code Productions in the Bro Code Show. Let the people know who you are and the experience on the show.
Man, first and foremost, I am Jiaani. Man, it was an amazing experience. The conversation, the energy of the fellas, man, just the whole exchange back and forth, man. It's one-on-one, man. The bro code. But I mean, I didn't expect nothing less. You know what I mean? I knew my guys was coming in. They came in strong. They did what they were supposed to do. In and out like a stick up. I liked it, for sure.